like the cherry.
I do not like strawberry.
I like strawberry.
All right, everybody hush so I can talk. All right. Yeah, I'm going to start off mean and hard today. Hey, some of you did absolutely nothing for 2 weeks. You're going to pay that penalty. Some of you literally said, nope, not going to do the test. You can't make me. Good, you get zeros. All right, I gave you a week and a half to turn a test in. Some of you are like, I will not turn that test. There's no amount of emails, chats, whatever I sent to you. You're getting zeros. That was your choice. Right? If you have your homework right now or your test, I will take it right now. If you had problems, then you should have come today and said, okay, I had problems, whatever. I got not a single email or a chat for anyone in this class about, I got problems. Hey, I'm trying to turn it in, it's not working. Right? If you didn't do any work, you're getting zeros. And I believe at least on 4 or 5 of the videos, it was on the video. I got nothing from you. Not even a bit of communication. I got nothing from you. Nothing. I got nothing from you. I got nothing from you. I got David was best student. I got nothing, Jay, other than the first couple homeworks. And then you stop. Amanda, I didn't get anything at the very end. Winter, you started off strong, you finished weak. Got nothing from you. Got nothing from you. Right? You guys are getting zero. You're going to pay the penalty for that. That's crazy. Right? You need to step up your, I shouldn't even say it. It's not stepping up your game. It's doing your job. Does anyone have anything to turn? Oh, Genevieve was solid as well, too. She never came to any class, but she always turned in her homework. And there's a couple others that did well as well, too. But some of you like they went offline. David literally got my full attention every single class. I mean, I spent more time with David than any student I've ever spent my entire life. What? It was like the David class every day. David was like, I don't get that. Explain it to me. And I was like, well, he's the only one live. I guess I got all the time in the world to talk to him, and I did. Which is why David's going to get an A. And some of you, we're already on 12-6 today. For those of you that did nothing, I have no chance. I have no clue of how you're going to pass. None whatsoever. I don't think you have a chance of passing this test because you didn't do anything. And no, it's not my issue now. It's your issue. Now, how do you fix yourself? Well, you can't fix yourself for the homework you missed. You can't fix yourself for chapter 11 that you didn't take. But chapter 12, you can fix yourself, and that requires you to go on to. Oh, I'm sorry, Jace was there for every class as well, too. He never asked a single question. Right. But I assume that's because you understood it all. But it was Jace and David every day. That was it. That's who you didn't have to show up live. It was fine. Some of you turned in. Breck and I got this homework every single day. A couple others, I got your homework every single day. But too many of you were really lazy. Gabby turned in her homework literally she did better at e-learning than live. Right? We're going to do 2-6A. Some of you are going to understand what I'm going to talk about. Some of you are going to like, I don't know what he's talking about because you didn't show up for the previous classes. So today we're going to do something brand new. You've never done this before. It is complicated in some sense. If you pay attention, you might get this. If you pay no attention for measures of central tendency, I don't know how you're going to do this since you weren't here for that class. If you're here for central tendency, you'll be fine because you know how to do that. But this is new. Never done it before. This is an 8th grade thing. The only thing we have left in the chapter is the hard stuff. And all the hard stuff builds upon the easy stuff. And you weren't here for the easy stuff, then may God have mercy on your soul, because I'm not sure how you're going to do this. Okay? The key to not ever being in that position of, oh boy, I don't have a chance of passing this, is to never let yourself get into that position, especially when you had all the time in the world. This should have been the time that I regretted, which was, man, I got 14 kids want me to do a Zoom tutoring session with them, right? This is the first time ever for e-learning, not a single person asked me to Zoom with them at all. I'm saying I need it, but usually I get at least one or two kids like, I don't get the material. Can I do a Zoom session with you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Not a single one of you did that. Right there.
All right, I have more.
I want it all. Yeah.
I sent them in through Teams. Did you not?
If it's on Teams, then it'll be in the grade book.
All right.
All right. Why are you not clicking? Today we're moving on. We're going to do 2 days of this because it's not that we necessarily have to do 2 days with this, but usually we need to see this about twice to get the entire class on board. Hey, there's only 6 problems. They take about, 3 to 5 minutes per problem type thing. If you're very slow at this is 30 minutes worth of work. If you're quick at this might be 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how quickly you can put numbers from least to greatest. The only time this process becomes painful is when there's a large data set. Hey, I got 50 numbers. Oh yeah, this becomes painful. I don't think they give you 50 numbers, but I think they give you somewhere around, 10 numbers. So it's not that challenging. There are a lot of steps in this process. The key to surviving this is to understand what's happening each step. If the question is about something I previous taught, and I know you didn't show up for class, I'm not telling you until you go back and watch those videos that you chose not to watch. And I know you didn't watch them because YouTube tells me how many people watched it and who watched it, type thing. I mean, it literally on your statistics, it says this username watched your video. So I know who watched and who didn't watch. Some of you need to watch it. Some of you might, I can figure it out while watching the video. That's fine. So if you ask me how to calculate a median, and I know you didn't show up for class that day, well, you need to show up for class. All right, this is called box and whiskers plots. Box and whiskers plots. It's brand new for 8th graders. Anybody ever do a box and whisker plot before? Okay, brand new. Here we go. So we're going to talk about the thing first. I'm going to show you a picture of it. And we're going to talk about the parts of it. In box number 2, you can see a picture of a box and whisker plot. All right, in box number, write this down. Remember, we make graphs and plots. Wait to high school to differentiate between the word graph and plot. We make graphs and plots so we can visually understand what's happening with our data. Remember, data set is just a string of numbers. It's hard to understand what's happening with those numbers unless we arrange it in a visual manner so that we can, look at it and see, oh, look, there's something going on. As human beings, we're a visual species. We get a lot of things just by looking at something. Looking at just numbers, we can't get much understanding of what's happening. But if we arrange it in the form of a graph or a plot, we can get a lot of information really quick. All right, today we'll be doing what's called a box and whisker plot. This is a plot that displays the distribution of those data items on a number line. Well, it's a weird definition. Move your pencil. It's a weird definition, but after you see one, then it makes more sense. If you just read the definition by itself, there's not much you would, if I ask you to draw a box and whisker plot now without knowing what one looks like, you would have no clue of what to do from the definition. So it's a plot that displays the distribution of the data along a number line. In other words, it's going to have the data and it's going to have a number line. And somehow the distribution of those numbers is shown on the number line. By the way, our book, some books will put the box and whisker plot above the number line. Some will put it below the number line. I've even seen some books where they put the box and whisker plot on the number line. I think that's just way too messy and confusing. So you may choose to put it above or below. There's something called a double and a triple box and whiskers plot as well too, and they're just stacked upon each other. Just one number line. All right. Box number 2 has a picture of a box, or it's an example of a box and whiskers plot. Right? There is what box 2 has. There are pieces, parts. Now yours isn't colored, but mine is. All right, so we're just going to label a few parts here. First off, it's got a box, right? Paradoxically, mathematicians are all about using correct terminology. Guess what? It ain't a box. It's a rectangle, right? Box is 3 dimension. Boy, this bothers me, right? we make a big deal about telling students, no, use precise language, and then we can't even use precise language. It's not a box, it's a rectangle. Should be called a rectangle and whiskers plot. Somebody called it a box and whiskers plot, and well, that's what we call it now. But the box is this part right here, to include this suspicious looking line right here. This line may be in the middle. This red line right here may be off to one side, but it will be inside the box.
Those are the whiskers.
The whiskers are the, oh, there's the number line. The whiskers are the part that's in green right there.
Cool.
The part that extends from the box, left and right, there'll be two of them, are called the whiskers.
But it's a box.
It's a rectangle and whisker plot, is what it should be called.
It should be rectangle.
It may or may not have dots on it. Sometimes you'll see mine use vertical lines as well too. But that's what a box and whisker plot looks like. And so somehow this describes the distribution of data. And for some reason, people use this to look at and tell something about things. That's tomorrow, or that's Thursday's class. Today's class is just about making one. Thursday's class is about what is this good for? Box and whiskers plot. Whiskers, good. All right. Okay. So put your pencils down, look at the board. This is the basic idea. It's a pretty simple idea. It's not too complicated to make, but here's the idea. I'm going to give you a data set. Numbers, yes? Step number one, arrange the numbers from least to greatest. Step number two, take all the numbers and make 4 boxes. 4 boxes. So how many numbers are here?
10.
8.
So if I put them in 4 boxes, how many are in each box? Okay. So you're going to make 4 equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool? Then you're going to take the 2 middle boxes, join them together. These are your whiskers. This is your box. These are your whiskers. This is your box. Last step, I don't have it here, is you put this shape right here on a number line. So your number line needs to go from all the way up to at least. My number line's probably going to go from
1 to 25.
0 to 25, maybe something like that, because you got to put it on a number line. Okay. By the way, that's the whole class right there. Pretty simple, right? That's all we're doing. We're just making box and whiskers today. Guess why this one's ridiculously easy? How many numbers were there?
8.
What's 8 divided by 4? Ridiculously easy. What if there's 13 numbers? Okay, now we got problems. I did leave off one part of my box and whiskers plot. What part did I leave off?
The number line.
Well, I left off the number line, but there's another line somewhere inside of this box.
Oh yeah, it's in between the 2 14.
In this case, it would be between,
The 11.
it actually would be right here.
Yeah.
Half the numbers over here, half the numbers over here. Okay,
I think that-
so that's your box and whiskers plot. So box 3, now we're going to label the pieces parts of an actual box and whisker part. Okay, so we're going to talk about what are called quartiles. Write this down small. Quartiles. Anybody ever seen that word before, quartiles?
Quartile.
What do you think it means? It means you're going to break something into 4 parts. So I'm going to have first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile. Literally, when you go to school, they break it up into quarters. They're quartiles. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Okay? So you don't need to draw this, but a whole, yes? How do you break it up into 4s? First thing you're going to do is what? Cut it in half, right? Remember, this would include all of your numbers, so the first thing you got to do is cut your numbers in half. Okay, I cut them in half. Now what? Take the halves and cut those in half. In other words, you made your quartiles. From here to here would be your first quartile, Q1, we're going to call it. From here to here is going to be Q2, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile. Now, they don't match up perfectly with the box and whiskers. There's a reason for that. On my, now this is what you need to label on yours. Guess where the first quartile is on the box and whisker plot?
The left, the beginning.
The left whisker, label that. Your left whisker, I mean the whole darn whisker, that's quartile 1. That's got a fourth of all the numbers in your data set. 1/4 of all your numbers are right smack here. Where's the second quartile?
The right.
Right what?
The right of the left.
The right of the left?
The left one from, like the third one in.
So the second quartile is the third one in.
No, it's the second one in.
Oh, so where is that on my box and whisker plot?
The second one.
What do you mean the second one?
It's the second
Where
one.
does it start? Where
Go
does it
straight
finish?
down.
Where does the second quartile start? Where does it finish?
From the black line to the blue box. And
Well, the black line's the first quartile.
no, like the middle black line to the end blue box.
It's the left side of the box.
Left side of the box to the
Middle.
suspicious line that we haven't described yet. That's where the second quartile is, right there.
Third is right after that.
And then you can kind of figure out where we're going, say it.
Okay, so the third is right after the line, the middle line.
And then the fourth is,
at the end.
the fourth is the
Right.
right whisker. Now, I'm going to say this is an actual box and whisker plot. What do you immediately notice?
That it's not as big as the other one.
Well, some quartiles are this big and some are this big. So the physical size of each quartile, be careful what I'm saying, the physical size, we're talking about literally measuring, they usually are not the same size. However, here's the key part. Guess how many numbers are in here?
Like 2.
Well, that was our one example. Guess how many numbers are in any box and whisker plot for the fourth quartile? Guess how many numbers are there?
Even?
No, it could be odd. Could be more than 4.
10.
Could be 1. Guess how many numbers are on every quartile?
At least one.
Infinite.
At least one.
How about a quarter? A quarter of the numbers are in each spot. Quarter 1 has a quarter number. Quarter 2 has a quarter number. Quarter 3 has a quarter. We're talking about the numbers. We're not talking about 7, 8, 9, 10. We're talking about if I had 20 numbers, 5 of them would be in quarter 1. 5 of them would be in quarter 2. 5 of them would be in quarter 3. 5 of them would be in quarter 4. A quarter of the numbers are in each, just as this picture in green indicates. The reason why the boxes are not the same size is because what happens when you have repeated numbers? Remember, this is a number line. When you have repeated numbers, 1, 1, 1, and then the next number is 10, you're going to get some stretching going on. The whisker could be really long if you have outliers. Okay? But key idea number 1 is these are quartiles, and in each quartiles are a fourth of all the numbers. I'm not talking numerically. I'm not saying, well, it's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just saying a fourth of all the numbers are in each quartile. What's up, Jen?
What if you don't like have an even number?
Exactly. That's an issue. Sometimes you're not going to have an even number of numbers. It doesn't matter even if it's even. If you have 22 numbers, 4 doesn't go into 22. So we got to talk about what happens there. Is everyone okay? Gabby, how many numbers are in the second quartile? Of any box and whisker, how many numbers are in the second quartile? A fourth. Remember, I got a bag of numbers. That's my data set. If I take a fourth of the numbers, I pour them in to each quartile. Okay, so making a box and whiskers, I gave you the instructions right there. I'm not gonna, describe each one. We're just gonna do it. You ready? All right, here we go. Watch me do one. Read me the first step.
Find the median.
Okay, we got to find the median. Who actually came to class that day? How do we find the median? How do we find the median? Who can recall without looking at their notes? Jace, how do we find the median?
You put them from least to greatest and then cross off one from the left and then one from the right, and then you get
Okay,
2 numbers.
so I'm going to put the numbers from least to greatest, and then I'm going to find the middle number. How do we do that?
You cross
Cross off the least, cross off the greatest, cross off the least, cross off the greatest. Eventually we get to
8.
8 is Q2. 8 is the end of quarter 1 and the beginning of quarter 2. Okay, so we found the median. I should probably label that Q2. Step 2, read it.
Find the median of the first half.
Okay, so the first half is, well, here's the middle, so there's your first half. So where's the middle?
The 8 and the 3.
Where's the middle?
8.
Of the first half, where's the middle?
Oh, 5 and 7.
Well, so therefore the middle is,
5 and 7. So 2.
oh, we got two numbers.
It's 6.
It's 6. Where am I getting that from? Well, where's the middle? If it goes 3, 5, 7, 8, where's the middle?
6.
Right here. It's between 5 and 7. Okay? So somewhere between 5 and 7. We're going to label that one Q1. That's where Q1 ends. Q2 starts. You're like, why do you label this one Q2? This is where Q1 ends. Q2 starts. This is where Q2 ends. Q3 starts. Well, let me read the step first.
Find the median.
Find the median of the last half. Where's the median of the last half?
10.
It's 10. I've broken this up into quartiles. There's now an even number of numbers in every single half. There's 2 here. There's 2 here. There's 2 here. Oh, crud, there's only 1 there.
Nope, there's only 1.
This is a challenging process. Once we have our quartiles done, Q1, Q2, Q3, the rest is cake. We got to have a number line that will include 3 and 11. That means the min and the max. So what's our number line going to go from?
5 to 10.
Well, we would never have 3.
0 to
But we don't need 3.
Well, we have to, it's one of our data points.
no, 0 to 12.
0 to 12 go by 2s or something like that. 0 to 15 go by 1s. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. But you have to have a number line that includes the min and the max. It has to include the min and the max. I forget what I used. Let's see, I used 3 to 11. I went the exact minimum possible, right? This is actually the hardest part, is making the number line. You got to put tick marks, right? And you got to do it all before you actually know if the number of tick marks is going to fit. So be careful. So I did a number line that will include both the min and the max. So the smallest number line you can make possible would include 3 and 11. It's not the only one. A lot of people, I'm with him. I'd probably go 0 to 12 and go by 2s. If I were doing it by hand, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Agree, but you could put intermediary tick marks, couldn't you? Okay. It says make a box around Q1 to Q3. So where's Q1? Where's Q1? Where's Q3? Did everybody see that? So I put a box around 5 to 10. I mean, literally, that's my box. So there's my box. Guess what this number is? That's that line in the middle. So 8 is that extra line. It's actually the median of the data. And then we attach the whiskers. The whiskers go from where to where? 3 to the box, and then from 10 to 11, and there's your whiskers, and you're done. You're having a stroke too, because it's pretty big.
No. I don't see it. The 2 colors.
It's the color of your mask.
I know what color it is, but the colors are similar.
Agreed.
And there's not a very dark outline.
All right.
Hard to see.
Let's do one together. Here we go. We're only going to do a couple of these together. There's 6 of them tonight for homework. All right. So look at your data. What was step number 1?
Find the median.
In order to do that, we have to.
Find the cross.
In order to do that, we have to
Find the
least the greatest.
Oh.
If there's a mistake to be made, this is the step. For those of you that paid attention or showed up for class that day, I said, find the smallest number, which is what?
4.
write it and then cross it out. That way you don't make a silly mistake. What's the next number?
8,
Write it and then cross it out.
10, 11, 12,
Do that process and eventually you'll have it written from least to greatest.
19.
I would recommend one extra step, and that's count your numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. I got 9 numbers. Hey, it's also odd. Why does that make us happy? Because the median's really easy to find. You don't have to do the, add the 2 middle numbers divided by 2. So visually, you can almost pick out the median. What's the median? It's 12. Okay. So 12 is the median. That's where Q2 ends.
Wait, what? Oh, so we're going by 3?
Well, don't worry about that yet.
Easy.
Find the median, label it Q2. Done.
10.
Well, there are 4 numbers now. Before there were 3. Now there's 4 numbers.
Don't you not count 4?
There are 4 numbers on that side. There's 4 numbers on this side. That's where we're gonna find Q1. Now Q1 would be smack dab in the middle here. So what actually is Q1?
9.
That was easy. For those of you that didn't attend the class, when you're left with 2 numbers, you add them and divide by 2, or if they're 1 apart, pretty easy. 8 plus 10 is 18 divided by 2 is 9. What are we over here?
17.
Okay, I don't want to go too fast. Am I losing anyone?
No.
Okay, good. Once again, if these were weirder numbers, you would add these 2 and divide by 2. We okay, everybody?
Yes.
So we got Q1, Q2, Q3. It says I need a number line that would include the min and the max. So what's our number line going to go from?
9 to 17.
It can't go from 9. It has to include the smallest number.
Oh, so then 4 to 19.
You could literally go from 4 to 19. That sounds challenging.
5 to 15.
You can't go from 5. 4 is the smallest number.
Oh,
0 to 20 is probably the most logical one to use, right? I probably used 4 to 19, but I'm saying 0 to 20 makes a whole lot of sense. All right, draw a number line.
Wait, what if you did it by 2s and then for 19 or the odd numbers?
You could put exactly, that's how I would do it. Right? I'd probably go by 2s and then just put an unlabeled tick mark for the individual ones. So I would go 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then just put a tick mark in between, not label it as, 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's see what I did. I went from 4 to 20. There you go. Usually when I teach this class, I use the same number line. I just make my data fit the number line. Jaden, you're not going to like this one because this one's in blue as well, too. All right, we got a number line, or am I going too quick?
huh? Oh,
We got a number line, yes?
yes. No.
The box goes from Q1 to Q3, so where's the box going to go? Where's the box? What number does the box start at?
8,
Doesn't start at 8.
9.
9 to 17. 9 to 17. So notice I don't have my the odd numbers labeled, but I can put my box where it needs to go. Someone's supposed to be saying right now, I'm lost. Abby? It can go under or above. Remember from the start? The book, I don't know how the book does it. A lot of times they'll put it above. I had all this stuff up here. That's why I didn't put it above. If you put it, I've seen some books put it on the number line itself too. It can be done. It's just not, you can't see the whiskers that well. Q2, well, that's your median. And the Q2 was 12, so we put a, and then we attach the whiskers. The left whisker goes from what to what? From 4 to 8, right? 8 to 4. The right whisker goes from what? 17 to 19. I said 4 to 8. I meant 4 to 9. Sorry. There you go. Box and whisker plot done. Notice Visibly, it looks like there are fewer numbers here. Why? Why does it look like there's fewer numbers here? Look at our data. Data has a big spread. Between 4 and 8, there's 4 numbers. There's 2 numbers, 1 number, 1 number, 2 numbers, 2 numbers, 2 numbers, 1 number. The reason why this whisker is really long because there's a big spread between 4 and 8. Technically, it's 4 and 9 is the whisker, right? So there's 5 value-wise on the number line, even though there's really only 2 numbers. Remember, a quarter of the numbers are here, a quarter of the numbers are here, a quarter of the numbers, even though the physical size are not the same. The physical size will change. The number of numbers doesn't change. And the reason why we use, well, now you can kind of tell, you can tell spread really quickly with box and whiskers plots. In the grade book, they give us a box and whisker plot for grades. Guess what size I want the box to be, big or little, when I give a test? I want the smallest box possible, but guess where I want my box to be? I want it to be somewhere in the A's, right? I usually have a long left whisker. Guess why? Guess why? All tests, I usually have a long left whisker. Someone fails and they do a really bad job, right? When my box is small, it's all hovering, usually you guys around an 80, like for averages. When it hovers around the 80, and I get this super long whisker over here, and that's because those are called outliers. Okay? Usually the right whisker is small, the left whisker is huge, and the box is kind of medium. The smaller the box, the more close your data is together. And remember, half of all the numbers are in the box. Half of all the numbers are in the box. All right. Yes, I'm going to give you a painful one, and then there's one after that, and we're done.
I don't like them.
But hey, we're not doing an average. We're doing medians. When the numbers are triple digits and quadruple digits, then you can make a silly mistake just copying the numbers down, so try to be careful. Everybody grab your pencils. Let's do this. What's the smallest number?
303.
All right, 303. Then what, 307?
There's 2, 3, 14.
There's 1, 311. There's 3, or there's 1, 3, 12. I almost made a mistake there. There's what, 3, 3, 14s?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. There's 1, 3, 15. 2, 3, 16s.
Wait, there's allowed to be multiple numbers?
And 1, 3, 20. There was last time, you just didn't pay attention. All right, there's the numbers from least to greatest. Like I said, I would have a last check step of count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We like odd numbers because the median is simple. Find the median. You cross off the smallest, cross off the biggest, cross off the smallest, cross off the biggest, cross off the smallest, cross off the biggest, cross the smallest, cross the biggest, cross the smallest. 14. Q1 or Q2, sorry.
So what do we do with the extra 14?
Did you leave them there? They're still part, because remember, we're breaking up into quartiles. Even though values are certainly important, it's the number of numbers that go inside to include repeats. A fourth of all the numbers are going to be in quartile 1, a fourth of all the numbers in quartile 2. All right, so that's what I'm trying to find the medians of now. Can you visually see that one? That was pretty easy, right? So even though you could do cross off again and make like an X, right? It's pretty easy to see that 311 is Q1 and 316 is Q3. Oh, I gotta make a number line. Oh, what are we gonna go from?
314 to 303.
You can't use 314. The smallest number is 303. I sound like a broken record to the same person. How's your number line gonna have a 303 if you start at 314? All right, common sense. Who's got it? What are we gonna use?
303 to 331.
Go by
7.
ones. There's a lot of tick marks.
Go by 3.
Go by threes. I might even start 300 to 321 and go by threes. You could do 303, 321, go by threes. Okay. I went by fours. Go figure. Just to show you that it's, entirely up to you what you do. Now notice, if you stop at 321, you're not going to have much dead space. Mine's going to have dead space on my number line. A little bit of dead space means there's no data there. A little bit of dead space, okay. If I go from 300 to 350, which I could go by tens, you got this big honking empty space. Trying to put as least amount of empty space. The only reason I did this is because, like I said, I just repeating the same graph over again, or same number line over again. I just had to pick numbers that actually worked. I'm not claiming that my number line is the way to go either. Regardless of what number line you have, let's see, the box goes from Q1 to Q3. So I'm going from 311 to 316. From 311 to 316. Nice small box this time. That means half of all your numbers, half of all the students score about right here if this was a test. The smaller the box, if we're talking about tests, the better off you are as a teacher, because you're like, well, yeah, half the kids got about the same thing. When it's really spread out, then a whole lot of stuff is going on in your class you just don't understand. When the box is small, you can say, yeah, that's about what typically happens. Q2 is 314, so that'd be what, smack dab in the middle right there, between 312 and 316. And then my whisker goes from 303 all the way up to 311. And on the other side, from 316 all the way to 321. And now you can see all this dead space I have on my graph. Looks like a Star Wars TIE fighter.
The back.
All right. I said we're going to do 3 of them. We just did 2 of them. Can you do one by yourself now?
Yeah.
All right. In the remaining time, all by yourself, you need to do about 6. All by 6. Yes. Hey. Anybody lost? I mean, like really lost.
So many long things.
There's only 6 of them,
I
Jaden.
wasn't saying I'm annoying.
I said you're always annoyed.
Yeah, that's true. I thought you said you're
How
always
do you
annoying.
Jaden,
Like,
let's talk more pencil movement.
There's way too many simplifiers.
What's up?
Wait, I start at.
You start, is that the middle? Was this the middle number? So from here to here. Is there an odd or even number of numbers?
Odd.
Yeah.
So
It's when it's an even that it becomes weird. When it's an even number, like that first example we did, then you will include that, because remember, if this was, let's just say that there was an even number of numbers, this right here would be where the median would be, right? So then you would include that number as well too. Typically, that's the median. Anybody struggling? Struggling, I'm struggling.
I'm struggling.
Ty, you got this? Least the greatest. You got this? Keep going. Yeah, but this can go all the way over to 1, 2, 3.
Is 6, 5, 8, 5 the biggest number?
9, 10, 11. There should have been one of these. Should have been
6,585.
You sure you got that right? Yeah. See how many numbers are over here? Look how many numbers are over here. Should be the same number of numbers. And
Mr. Chartier,
look,
I counted this and there were 12 numbers, and then I counted this one, there were 4.
well, then you made a mistake. Figure out where your mistake is.
I can't figure it out.
This is why I recommend crossing the numbers out as you're doing them. Right? The smallest, cross it out. Right? The next smallest, cross it out. It can be done greatest to least. You just got to read it backwards then, but don't do that. Do it least to greatest. Hannah, you got this?
Bruh.
I'm doing
You got this? Abby?
Oh, I miscounted.
Yeah, you got it. So where's the middle number?
Cousin,
Because remember, we're doing a median, we're not doing an average.
I had to suffer through that for like. I did.
I would put really hot water on it.
What's the middle?
It's so time at the same time now.
It looks still a little crunchy.
Remember how we moved? Yeah.
It's a little bit still.
Add them up, divide by 2.
So,
I'm assuming that you have this in order.
look how crispy his hair is.
If David is doing it correctly, which I assume he is, he's found out there's not an odd number of numbers here, there's an even number of numbers.
Why?
there is.
Yeah.
For those of you that said odd, I just assumed you were correct. You better count your numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 numbers.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So the middle two numbers are actually what?
85 and
It's
75.
These are your middle two numbers, so the median is actually these two added together divided by 2.
I'll do it's 80.
Just add 70 and 80 and then add 10.
Or you could add 5 and minus 5.
And then you get 80. So we're getting a Q2 of 80. Now here's the deal. Now where's the middle? Sorry. If that's the middle, 80.
Yeah, because that's in between. So it's 8.
When we find the other middle,
70.
cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. It's going to be in the middle of these two numbers. Smaller, the one that's like the statistical genius here, he's getting this immediately.
Now, what about the 85, 85, 85, 95, and then 100, and then 100? So
Well,
it'd
you
be-
tell me.
Oh, it'd be 95. Okay.
No,
No, it's 90. Yeah.
because it would be between these two numbers. You see that? Cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. So it would be,
It makes sense.
all right. So there's your Q3. By the way, I should probably put numbers here now since I'm doing it. I'm kind of remembering that this is not Q1, it's 70. This is not this. This is 80 and this is 90. When you have an odd number of numbers, it ends up being very nice to do this. When there's an even number of numbers, this is what will happen every time. Who's lost and what just happened right there?
This is easy.
It is easy.
I thought you said it was complicated.
Well, if I would have not given you any instruction, you guess what would have happened?
If you gave me the thingy majiggy, I probably figured it.
All right, when we do histograms, that's what I'm going to do. You'll teach yourself,
Yeah.
and we'll see.
Wait, is that next year?
No, that's this year. We do histograms
13.
after PSAT.
This is.
After
Histograms are
PSAT.
the most
You
complicated
mean
ones. that we'll do.
CMAS?
Wait, can I still opt out for CMAS?
Can you opt out? No, your parents can't.
No, can my parents still opt me out?
I don't know. Talk to Miss Lovato.
No, I think it's dude,
Yeah, it's way too late there.
Yeah, I was working.
All right, so who's got a number line? What are we going to go from?
60 to 105 counting by 5.
60 to 105, counted by fives? Yeah, I'll buy that. I'm being very lazy here. Going by tens. Just be careful. This was really 70, 80, 90. So I need my box to go from 70 to 90, 70 to 90. My smack dab middle median was 80, so tick mark on 80. And my whiskers go from 60 to 70, and then from 90 to 105. This one is really symmetrical, meaning like it's the spread kind of continues throughout the entire graph. It's middle, 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 middle. They're all about the same. This is kind of, as a teacher, what you don't want to happen on a test, right? You'd rather have more people score better. I mean, this is literally like half the people scored less than 80, half the people scored above 80. Right? You don't want that to happen. You really want to have more people score towards the middle. Jaden, you're annoying me. Stop it. All right, we made box and whiskers today. You have 6 of them to do tonight for homework, and we have what, 5 minutes class left?
Yeah.
All right, open up your books. Get started on your 6 problems. If you need help, call me over. If not, drive on, get it done. Share with Breckton. Who's absent today? E-learners, Donovan, are you alive? Yes, you are. Questions, Donovan? Okay, we're gonna end the lesson right here. If you do have questions, send me a chat or email.
Wait, what?